Hey guys, it's your buddy Glasgow here. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about Sister Abigail, just like I promised in my last video on my October 9th Monday Night Raw review. Go check that out. If you haven't watched the review, watch Monday Night Raw. From that, basically all they did with Bray Wyatt was basically dress him up in drag, and try to talk like, do effects like a possessed person, and talking like a demon version of Sister Abigail. That's kind of boring. I know Balor tried to help play it off later in the interview, but we were not happy with it there in the audience. And given WWE's creative track record lately, over the last year or two, I don't think they thought this far ahead. I think they want to either keep him in drag or bring someone in who's basically almost worthless on it, run it for a month and drop it. That's a big mistake. You can run with this. See, here's the problem with WWE. They make a lot of these possible interesting storylines and just drop them for no fucking reason. So, here's what I think they should do with it, and let me know if I write it better, or we'll see if the WWE writes it better, and let me know. So, we can salvage what we got here. We can keep Bray Wyatt and drag for a little bit. But we have to decide and determine how we want to run and who we want to run as Sister Abigail. Now, it's going to have to be a female wrestler, of course, because you can't have fucking Bray Wyatt come out as Sister Abigail all the time, because that's just fucking stupid. It's a waste of Bray Wyatt's time, Finn Balor's time, and quite frankly, our fucking time. But then you got to think about, who do we put in there? Do we bring someone up from NXT to play the role? Do we bring back a past superstar, female superstar, to play the role? Or do we work with the current roster? Well, because of the past roles, divas that are out there, it's kind of hard who could come back. And so what I'm going to do is work the easiest way, and that's work with the current roster on Raw. I don't know a lot about the people on NXT, and they have a tendency to come up and flounder and go back down to NXT. So let's work with the people we have, and we can try and get some good storylines going with them. Just some of them need it. So, what we're going to do is, we will let Wyatt keep up this act for a bit, for a few weeks. He can dress and drag on the monitor, but when he's there, he's as himself. And he has a match like every other Raw, and he wins. He doesn't lose nobody, not even to Finn Balor. Well, he may technically lose Finn Balor, but he winds up stomping Finn Balor, getting him out by disqualification or countouts. But what we have him do is mainly he's going to be working backstage. And this is going to work towards the Sister Abigail myth, that she's a demonic spirit, possibly a demonic spirit, or someone we don't know about. And every time we see him, if someone asks him what he's doing, his response is, "She's coming. It must be perfect for her. She deserves it. She's coming. It must be perfection." And he's looking through all stuff. Clothes. He appears everywhere. He be behind superstars, looking through their stuff, staring oddly at people. And he's mainly checking out the divas, or the women's roster, whichever you want to call it. I'm going to refer to them as divas because it's easier to say, for the purpose of this video. So, and he starts checking them out, and every time I look, he also challenges, not just Bray Wyatt now, he challenges the women's division, letting them know that Sister Abigail isn't just coming to help him with Finn Balor. She's coming for them. And she's coming for the championship. And that they, like Finn Balor, will know how powerful and evil and punishing Sister Abigail can be. And she works this up. And this goes on for a few weeks because we got to build this up. And Bray Wyatt is getting more crazier and crazier. And all he keeps saying is, she's coming. She's coming. And he finally goes to the fact that she's going to be made flesh. She's going to make us all pay. We will all follow her. And then after everyone he defeats, he defeats Jason Jordan. Like I said, Finn Balor, he gets disqualified or wins by countout. And he beats Matt Hardy. And every time he beats someone like Hardy or Jordan by pinfall, he, picks him up in his arms, rests him up, how it goes, how that follow, he actually scoops him up like that, stares like he does, and he goes, follow her, she's coming. And then we don't see those guys for a little bit, and they come back and they're fine, and they just say they go to they don't know what happened. They went to a dark place and they came back. So finally, about a month and a half of this, maybe 2, because we can get some good story time out of this if you let it run and you keep it short every Monday. The women are in the ring getting ready to do a match. Could be a 5-way, could be a 6-way. You have the champion there. Doesn't matter who the champion is. It was still Alexa Bliss or whoever. But they're all in there, and then finally you hear Bray Wyatt's music. And he comes out with his lantern, with a mic. And he's coming down to the ladies, and he spouts a few things. It doesn't matter what it is, rambles. And he goes, she's finally decided, I've just picked the perfect, what she needs. And he finally goes, she's finally made flesh. She's ready. She's here. And and of course, blows out his lantern. Lights go out. Then all of a sudden you hear ruckus in the ring. And you don't know what's going on. Then all of a sudden, poof. Lights come on. And there's only one woman left standing. Bray Wyatt's in the ring. All the other girls are out. Except for one woman who's being held by none other than who is now Sister Abigail, clearly. And we got to discover who's going to be Sister Abigail. And we got to give them a reason to be Sister Abigail. And we also got to give them a side story. As if they're a babyface, we got to give them a road back to redemption. And if they're a heel, we got to make them go darker. So, who do we put in this position? Well, there's only a few people who can pull this off. Because if you're going to pull off a Sister Abigail and make her actually appear just as fucking nuts as Bray Wyatt, if not more nuts, they got to try and act pretty good. They got to work well in the ring because they're going to be taking on everybody. And so that at least put some of the ladies out. You can't really do it with Alexa Bliss or Nia Jax because they have their own story going on right now. Alexa Bliss is a good anchor for the women's roster. She's great on her own on the mic. Same with Nia Jax. She's good on her own in the ring. There's no reason to have her there. Mickie James could use a story, but she's good enough as she is. You're hurting a baby face right there. They kind of need the baby faces. Emma, I've already done enough stories with Emma. Go back and look at them. She could pull it off, probably. But the problem with Emma is they've already tried to change her once. I don't think she's going to be up for changing again. Because we all know how that Emelina bit worked out. Alicia Fox, I'd like to give her a bit role, and she's got some good moves, but I don't think she's going to be able to handle it, though she would be good. I don't think she could handle what needs to be done for this role. And I also thought about Dana Brooke. She's got the body. She has the moves. But her weakness is her mic work. It's not that strong. If she had the mic work, she'd be perfect for Sister Abigail. Because she could take on men as well as women. Which is what we're going to have happen. No one else really fits the bill, so we're down to 2. Bayley and Sasha Banks. And who is it that's turning to Abigail? Sasha Banks. And who does she have? Bayley. Her good friend is set up into her namesake, the move. The Sister Abigail kisses Bayley. Boom! Sister Abigail's her. Just like Bray Wyatt. She stands. He should be pretty fucking good since it's Sasha Banks and she's turned on Bayley. And Bray wraps her in clothing he's been making for her. Bales kneels before her, opens and goes, I shall follow. We shall follow. And here we have Sasha Banks in a persona of a Sister Abigail turning heel. Going down, kissing Bray Wyatt on the forehead. And puts her foot on Bayley. Heel turn complete. Now, why Sasha Banks? They've been hinting for a heel turn for her for a long time. People want to see it. They want to see her take on Bayley. It's been fainted at. And this would be a good time to do it. And the reason I chose her is she needs a bit of a story to go on. Plus she has a good friend in Bayley that we can now work with Bayley trying to preferably bring her back to the light side. And she has a friend now in Finn Balor. They're good friends too. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt are going at it. Now you can have Bayley and Sasha Banks. Now Sister Abigail going at it. Both trying to bring, essentially, Sister Abigail, or I should say, Sasha Banks, back to the light. But how this plays out is that Sasha is possessed by the evil spirit of Sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt follows her religiously. He protects her. He follows her. She does all the commands, how he used to do with his flock. She now controls him. And so, but she doesn't necessarily need to, because she defends her own. She holds her own against every woman in the division, including Nia Jax. Now using her new move, the Sister Abigail, just like Bray Wyatt. She only uses this bank segment if she absolutely has to. This is going to be her persona. She shits on her fans, quite really, and we can put actors in around the ring for her to do things with. Even though we already know that Sasha Banks really doesn't like her fans anyway, so this won't be too much of a fucking stretch. So this goes on for probably a good couple months. Bayley tries to beat Sasha, but she never can. Sasha either ones up her and gets herself counted out, or knocks the fuck out of Bayley and pins her, or makes her submit. And Bray protects her, as I said, religiously. They even probably con a few people, say Matt Hardy. Maybe bring him into the fold. They gain people like a little flock. Except they get him through brainwashing. And anytime they do wrong, they punish them in public, in the ring. And they're not afraid to expel them. And when they try to expel them, people beg not to be expelled because they feel Sister Abigail's love. She has shown them the way. They've been wrong, especially with Matt Hardy. This could be a good episode into the broken Matt and Jeff. If not, it'll get people thinking that way. Another good sell. So we don't make this cult too big, though. We gotta keep it small to keep it going. You know, you don't want to be like an NWO where they branch out too much and they just collapse on themselves. We keep it small. And so eventually we get to the point after maybe a few months, let's say Survivor Series. No, Survivor Series, but let's say maybe Raw, maybe a little after Raw. Not Raw, excuse me, Royal Rumble, sorry. You know, December, January, we let run till then. And then finally we have, after months of trying to get Sasha Banks to come back to them, you can start seeing the breakthroughs. And, of course, Wyatt doesn't like this. He takes on Bray Wyatt, Balor, and even beats the shit out of Bayley. And he attempts to keep Sister Abigail, which he does. He keeps her for a while, but we start seeing that collapse back down, and we eventually get Sasha Banks to come back and be babyface, all through her friendship with Bayley. Now, during this time, of course, as Sister Abigail, we have her win the championship and do a lot of things. So it's not like she's just sitting around. I just don't feel like going through every single match. Right now I'm trying to make it short. But in the end, we have her friend Bayley bring her back. She comes back and she apologizes. And, of course, Bray Wyatt, once again, is defeated. And sent back to the darkness. Back to the bayou, or wherever the fuck he wants to say he's coming from. All because of Finn Balor and Bayley. And their friendship with Sasha Banks. That makes sense. We'll end it there, and because that makes more sense. So what's this do? Well, it gives you the heel turn with Sasha that people are wanting. It lets her let loose and do whatever the fuck she wants for a little bit. It reaffirms the friendship between Bayley and Sasha. At least on the screen. And it lets Sasha be a heel for a short bit of time with a good build-up to coming back a face. Some of the problems you have just making people heels and you try to turn them back to a face right away, there's no real reason. This gives you a reason. It also continues the pursuit of Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. And we don't have to go too much with that because we have my Undertaker versus Finn Balor story arc, which you just substitute the Undertaker with Bray Wyatt. So go back and check that out. And it gives them a big story. It keeps their feud going, makes the story interesting, gives Bray Wyatt one hell of a fucking acting job. And he can do it. He has a good array. He looks fucking crazy as shit. Can perform crazy as shit. This lets him go to town. And this also gives a reason to, like what Finn Balor was saying, it's like, oh, I felt the evilness of Sister Abigail and shit like this. This validates that evilness. It gives you the theatrics. You know, it gives you a complete change with Sasha Banks. I think people would like it. It's something different. And then you have an entire female roster being pursued by Bray Wyatt. Now, I know what some of you are saying. What about Paige? Why aren't you? Some rumors are saying that she's going to be Sister Abigail. Well, like with the other new old ones coming back, you don't know how long she's going to stay around. You don't know how long she'll be with Alberto Del Rio, being in, TNA or GFD, whatever the fuck they're calling it now, because of all their stuff outside. So, she's a question mark. And you don't want, this is going to be a big rule, and you don't want a question mark to fuck it up. Because remember, you're getting a good 3-4 months worth of story here. Or more. And you want to make sure that it's used on someone who's probably going to stay there for a while. And Sasha Banks will stay there for a while. Dana Brooks, I would give it to, but she really doesn't have no one as a real solid friendship like Bayley and Sasha have on screen. So the only other person who would come after her to feel heartfelt run would be maybe Mickie James. She's a good friend to her. but that connection has not been made visually on screen very well. Like the other one. So this is more believable. Yeah, it's theatrics, but it's a story that's believable. And you also have the history of Bayley and Finn Balor. This gives them a reason to unite from the NXT days. So it's a bit makes way more sense. I would love to use Dana Brooks and Mickie James in this because I know they both need a good story. And they would both stay around for a while. But in order to work Bray Wyatt into the story really good, I'd have able to bring a guy in that's his equal. And unless they're going to bring in Mickie James' husband, Magnus, it doesn't work. So that's why I made it this way. So what do you think? You know, like, dislike, subscribe, and get your set your notifications to see some more videos from me. And comment, let me know what you think. What could be perked about this idea? I'm always open to suggestions. That's what I like. I want to hear some feedback. So, as always, you guys take care. And I'll see you all next time.